Hi everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles. Welcome, I'm glad you're here. I realized I hadn't made a project with something special. So I have started, I guess last month or the month before, I can't remember guys, I'm so sorry, doing digitals on my Patreon site. So this month for July, the first one that paid subscribers on Patreon received is this page of 8 vintage style bee tags. And I just think they are delightful. I've made a couple of projects. This tag with a little side pocket, and then I cut 2 of the tags apart and glued them together to make this little piece of ephemera. And then this one I really love. I've layered it, and this would be a great topper for a journal, like if you did flowers or bees or nature. And I wrote the quote, "The flower doesn't dream of the bee, it blossoms and the bee comes," right? So focusing on what we need to do in life and good things will happen. So anyway, I had a lot of fun layering this one, used some of the bee washi tape that I have, and hopefully we'll get to use some of this today. So anyway, we're just going to do a little project, and while we're doing that, I'll tell you, if you're not familiar with Patreon, it is a way to support artists and creators, and I've had one for a while, and I do, set this aside, I do Happy Mail, and there's different tiers, and people receive like a little package from me each month, and what's in it just kind of depends on what I have in stock, what I've been making, and a lot of people seem to like seeing the things that I've made and having them, so that's kind of where that came from and started. And the size of the package depends, of course, on the membership level. There's like 3 different tiers where you get mail, and then I added the digitals, so everybody that is a patron and gets a Happy Mail also has access to the digitals. And then I have a digital only tier for $3 a month. So if that's something that interests you, I hope you'll pop over and check it out. I still have some spots for the Happy Mail available. I'm gonna start thinking about paring that down a little bit, but we'll see. So, all right. Anyway, I will link it for you in the description below in case you're interested. You can make this project with any paper that makes you happy. I try to emphasize that all the time. So you can make your own tags out of whatever paper you have. If you have a different kit that has some tags, you could make these 2 very simple ideas. So this one I made kind of the traditional for my card making days, right? I cut an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in 4 pieces. So I'm starting with a piece of craft cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have this pretty yellow cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4, just to lay right on top, okay? Very easy peasy so far. Where's my glue? Here's my glue. And this is one of those times I realize I absolutely could have refilled my glue bottle. It's almost half full still, and so it's not that big of a deal, but it just, when I'm on camera, it makes me a little nervous. Whoa, this is wiggling, that it is going to get challenging as I go. All right, then I picked a piece of book page. This is book page, everybody, if you didn't know. And I'm using the ruler tear method. This is quite, fragile. I love it. I like the color of it, and it being glued down on a layer, it will be just fine. So I may do this one. I made this one kind of precise. I'm thinking about, I may do a finger tear. We'll see if we like it. And then use that washi to kind of fill in on the side. So let's make this edge a little bit straighter with the ruler. And I can do it, either way. I think I'm going to do it this way. And get it, again, where it will layer fairly nicely on here. All right. I do want to go ahead after I ink this and pick out the tag we're going to feature on this one. And I want to look at my washi tape options before I glue this down, because I might put a little bit underneath and I may put some on top. We'll see. Now I've already written out a little quote. It says, "You are never too small to make a difference." It made me think of how tiny honeybees are, right? And they make something beautiful. Ooh, it's a piece of ribbon. Okay. So I have these tags cut out, and of course I have a sheet we can cut. I really love the color on this bee. Let's use this one. All right, and then I also just took some of the same craft cardstock and mounted this. I printed these on the 90-pound Nina cardstock. It's kind of my everyday go-to. It's definitely not printer paper, right? But it's a very thin cardstock that I find very easy to work with, and I enjoy it. But I will often mount it on other pieces and things like that. I also use their 110 for some things, but like even the pages in my journals, I do the 90-pound because I feel like it's not too thick. It folds nicely, but it will hold up to having pockets and things like that installed, and it can just handle it, I guess. Okay, so that was easy. And we'll definitely put a ribbon or something on here. I don't want to tear that. Again, very fragile. I wrote it on some of the book page, the edge. All right, I love the beehive pattern. It's one of my favorite things. All right, this has a little more black in it than this one did, so I think I may use one of the actual bees. So it might be fun to see a little bit sneaking out under here, and then maybe a little bit with the quote. We'll try that, right? If we don't like it, it's okay. We can cover it up with something else. All right. Come on, tape. There we go. All right. Get a good torn edge. And I think I've told you guys this. Whenever I'm using washi tape, I don't know what that is there for, I don't worry about where I place it. I just keep it on pieces of paper, and then like I'll punch a circle, or I'll make a little mini tag or something out of it. It's one of my things. All right. I'm gonna just put that there because I think the way this is torn, yeah, it'll look okay. Here. And again, I'm thinking then a piece here, or we could do more of a center on this one and put our quote down here. I don't know, I kind of liked it turned sideways like the other one. Okay, we are going to glue the book page down, and we'll decide. And again, whenever you're collaging, they all are a little different, right? And this is more just layering, I would call this. But again, we can do all kinds of things with it. Okay. Very good. I had somebody ask me fairly recently about where I get my book page, and I definitely love a good yard sale, an estate sale, and I look for older books, the Reader's Digest, things like that. Sometimes you have to, again, if you don't want to have, and it's not that I have a problem with tearing the books up, it's more like if there's a word in here, a lot of times it's mysteries or murder mysteries or things like that, and it's violent. And I really want that. So I just try to pay a little bit of attention. Some have gotten away from me where I didn't pay attention because my eyes kind of go over the words now. But anyway, I do that. I do a lot of garden books, flower books, architecture books, history, that type of thing. And again, I feel like I'm giving it new life, right? All right, let's see. Oh, and I've got a pile of the seam binding sitting here. And I actually updated my Etsy shop. There's 2 new sets. One is this set, which is 15 yards. It's the biggest one I've done because I was going to do the smaller 6-yard sets. And then I liked the idea of this set where you get a couple of the soft neutrals and then some that are towards the yellows, the greens, the pinks, the blues. This one doesn't have any purple or lavender in it. This one, in fact, I wanted purple, so I got that out of my stash, but this is one of the yellows. So those are there. And then I did do a neutral that's just the 6 yards, and you get 2 yards of 3 different neutrals, and it's like a really, well, they're in here too, I think. So it's one of these, or 2 yards of this. I'm not sure, guys. You'll have to just go look. But the neutrals are very soft. And one is a sand with a green. It's not that. Anyway, there's like a sand color with a green. They're not in here. And I don't think... Anyway, I mixed up a bunch of stuff for myself, but this is pretty much that 15-yard bundle right here. Okay. But even the pink, see, like there's some orange peeking in there. Isn't that fun? Okay. I am going to pick something for this, and I'm thinking one of the neutrals, and again, maybe some yellow. Maybe we'll go with a little more of the darker yellow this time. That'll be cute. And sometimes I just start rambling, right? And part of the issue is, and I've gotten this question too, like, do you record videos every day? You know, how do you, kind of manage and keep up your projects? And when I'm I consider this my work, right? And full time, unless like I'm on vacation or traveling or, something like that, something going on with my family. But a lot of times I will prep projects and have them ready to go for days and days. And then I come back to them, and then I'm trying to remember all the things I wanted to tell you guys. Sometimes I sit down, like my 15-minute craft, I kind of usually sit down the day before and just do that one. Sometimes it's a couple of days before it's going to go live. But anyway, especially these that I've sort of planned out, sometimes it's just hard to remember because it may have been a while since I really looked at the project or what I was doing, if that makes any sense. Okay, I definitely want to get a strip of the bee washi running down this side, and I think I'm going to go most of the height. Here we go. Fun, fun, fun. And then I'm going to bring that little quote in here about you're never too small to make a difference. We're all able to use the gifts we were given, right? Okay. Now I'm not sure about how I feel about the stripe and the stripe. So I'm just going to play with it for a second, and I may go back to that. Maybe something like that. I think I like that a little bit better. It's different. Let's do it. I'm going to go for it. And we could always add another element too. Ooh, and if I can find them, I don't know if I can. I have those cute little bee charms. That would be cute hanging on here, wouldn't it? All right, so I'm just using my regular glue to glue this tag down. This is the Line Co. PVA glue. That's the brand. And I think as long as, I get it to grab hold, it's going to be just fine, even with that ribbon under there. Okay, so cute. Yeah, I like it. Now, I don't know if this is where I put them. I have things. I have things, you guys. All right, that's a bunch of different charms. That's some bulb pins. Those are keys, hearts, brads, turtles, because I love turtles. Wonder where I put them. They're probably right here, and I'm just not seeing them. So, for a long time, I just had them sitting here because they were so cute on my desk, but they're not there anymore. Okay, so I guess we won't be putting a little bee on there unless I just happen to see one in one of these mixes. I need to do like some big charm projects because I have charms. And I use one or two at a time, and then but I have them if I need them, right? If there's a charm emergency, we may not have the bees, but we'll have something. Okay, so I like that, and it's a little bit different. It's got that pop of black on there. All right, now this tag is like so easy. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I don't know if you guys can tell. I got out one of my clear stamps, and I stamped this flower because it seemed to be similar to the shape in just, again, in the walnut stain. I'll just do one right over here. I used to do a lot of rubber stamping. There we go. And I have a lot of hobbies and a lot of projects, and I need to think about getting all of my supplies out, don't I? All right, which one do I want to be the front? So we're going to make this quick tag. This is so easy, and then you can just embellish it however you would like. I think I want this one on the front, or to be the tag. So again, we're going to glue it down, but I am going to glue it down differently this time. So I want it to be open. I'm going to have it open on the same side. So what I do is I add glue to this top section of the tag like that. And then along this side and the bottom, I'm holding it where I want to keep it open. And then just lay it on the craft cardstock. Let it grab hold. And then while it's doing that, I am going to cut it out. And so we've just left it, so there's now a little tuck spot for the little tag we're going to make. And then we could set an eyelet in here. I haven't been, so we're just going to punch the hole. Now on this one, I used a piece of this ribbon. I just thought it was so pretty. Would be pretty too. I didn't get any other ones out, I don't think. Oh wait, here's one that has some yellow. I was thinking something that had a little bit of yellow might be pretty too. Let's go with the yellow. Just using different things. I'm going to cut it longer than I need because I hate when I cut them too short. And this is that Sorry silk ribbon you can get on Amazon. It's in my Amazon storefront. There's a bunch of different sets, and I am in love. So I've got some that have some of these brighter colors. I have the set, I think they call it the dull set, which are just more muted in colors. So again, lots of options, and if that's something you're interested in and don't know where to find them. Okay. Just going to put the ribbon through the top. And I just love making tags and pockets. It makes me happy. And then again, I have a nice pile of ephemera for when I want to just decorate something. Okay, so then to make this fella, I just glued, I'm just going to use the two that are cut out that are left, 2 tags back to back. So this actually shows us that printing the 8 tags print one time, you can make 2 of the kind of toppers, or, you know, for a card or a journal topper, or just a journal page, and then 2 of these little tags with a little tag inside. So that's kind of fun. Okay, I am cutting this to be 2.5 inches tall. I'm gonna trim this up just a touch. Okay, and then what I did is I have one of the templates made to angle my corners, and I just want little bitty corners. I'm not really making this one the traditional tag shape. I'm doing all 4 corners, but I liked this instead of rounding the corners because I thought it went with the straight edge of the tag style. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing here. And I think they even make like a punch that will snip off corners like this, but I don't have one, so I do it that way. Okay, cuteness, cuteness, cuteness. And you can, if you want, add some words or a button. You could add a button if it'll go in the pocket. You could add a ribbon, so we can decide which side we want to see facing up. I kind of liked those little flowers poking out. All right, this one has a little bit of color with those flowers, but I think they're both cute. And I did put a piece of lace on this one. The actual style or design of this tag, I'm not sure I want a piece of lace, but let's just see. Yeah, I don't want to cover up that honeycomb pattern, so I'm gonna leave it. Okay, embellish to your heart's content. You could use these again in a fun bee-themed journal, or I think just in any junk journal. The kind of the bee thing, I think, goes with lots of styles. And I hope you guys like this. Use whatever paper, though, makes you happy. Or if you're working on a particular themed journal, make some of these ideas with that paper. Okay? Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day.